So tonight was a pretty eventful episode of Raw. Tonight they were promoting the fact that Roman Reigns was going to be making his return once again to Monday Night Raw. Obviously last week we had the surprise return of Roman Reigns. This week he was going to have a kind of a segment where he goes over his reasons for coming back, his reasons last week for making a surprise return, and essentially kind of telling us what we're in store for as far as his return is concerned. They saved us up for the last main event segment. We had Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker. They came out here first to kick off this segment. Paul Heyman got the microphone. He told us all that he had a lot to get off his chest. Before he could say anything further, Roman Reigns comes out here to a massive reaction, a massive pop. Roman Reigns came out here, and I think this was probably one of his better promos as a babyface, because we got to hear a lot from his point of view, rather than the typical Roman Reigns promo. So obviously he told the crowd to acknowledge him. Paul Heyman, before all of that though, tells Roman Reigns that Seth Rollins is going to be out of action for a long time, and essentially pleads with Roman Reigns that he could fix this entire relationship between him and Roman if he so chooses to. Now let's break that down for a second. Paul Heyman said that Seth Rollins is going to be out for a long time. He didn't specify how long, he just said a long time. Now again, there's been several rumors as far as whether or not this whole Seth Rollins injury is an actual legit injury or an actual work. I couldn't tell you really, at this point. I could tell you what my opinion is I think that the fact that Seth Rollins is probably injured, but not to the extent that they're claiming that he is. So I don't know, you may see Seth at SummerSlam. They may be trying to keep this whole Seth Rollins injury thing under wraps, and maybe he comes out at SummerSlam, but I thought that was something sort of to look at as far as, Heyman, he told us that Seth Rollins is going to be out for a long time. So then again, do I believe it? Do I not? Who knows? He called him a dumbass on multiple occasions. He says that Heyman is eventually going to turn on Braun Breaker, much like how he did to Roman Reigns. He said that eventually, when Braun's the man in a few years, Heyman is going to take all the credit for it, much like he did with Roman. He said Heyman never helped out his family, gave credit to the original bloodline for helping maintain him a champion. He said the reason he's still the tribal chief is because the fans still acknowledge him. And Roman says that Heyman is the reason that the bloodline no longer exists, because he chose to throw it away for his best friend. Braun Breaker then grabs the mic and essentially tells Roman Reigns that he's old news, that he's yesterday's news, that he should go and essentially just go away, much like he always does. Roman Reigns then gives him a Superman punch, then tries to go at both Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Then eventually Jey Uso comes out here to make the save, and then we get the visual of Jey Uso and Roman Reigns standing tall. So again, much like I suspected last week, I assume this is probably going to lead to a tag team match at SummerSlam. We also got AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio. That's officially confirmed for SummerSlam. We also got a back and forth between CM Punk and Gunther. To be honest, I did like this back and forth, but if you ask me, I would have wanted this to go a little further. I felt like they're kind of just now just beginning to scratch the surface. But yeah, obviously I'm looking forward to that match as well. We also had Becky Lynch. She called out Lyra Valkyria here to make some propositions for their championship match at SummerSlam, where essentially she told Lyra that if Becky wins and beats Lyra at SummerSlam, Lyra can no longer challenge for the IC title. And Lyra, however, made this match a no count out, no disqualification at SummerSlam. So I'm kind of suspecting maybe the goal for this match is going to be that Lyra gets the win here, and then maybe afterwards we get that Bayley heel turn. This led to a Judgment Day against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria match for the tag team championships. All throughout this entire match, they were kind of saying like, what's the point of this match if you're Bayley teaming with Lyra? Obviously this was a great match, but of course we had Becky get involved, and that led the win for Roxanne and Raquel. We also got Stephanie Vaquera against Io Sky here on free television. I assume they kind of did this knowing the fact that Io isn't going to win at SummerSlam, so they kind of just wanted to somewhat give it out on free television. But then again, it was interrupted by Chelsea Green and Naomi, and then Rhea Ripley got involved. So I'm not really sure what the whole purpose of this match was. I would have preferred maybe something with a little bit of build. We had Karrion Kross on television actually win a match against Sami Zayn. They're still building that fact of Sami Zayn against Kross. Maybe you'll see that at SummerSlam. And lastly, before I go, I just want to mention the fact of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Now, I don't really care about this whole story that they've been telling for like 2 years now, but like, There's a backstage segment with the New Day and Grayson Waller where essentially Grayson Waller just says that, yeah, Austin Theory's hurt, he's injured, A-Town Down Under, that's no more. So they just broke up this entire tag team, in which they've been teasing for like 2.5 years at this point. They just broke them off screen. Like, I'm just like, wow, what a lazy way to book a breakup of a tag team. But post your comments down below as far as what you thought of tonight's episode of Raw. What did you think of Roman Reigns returning and essentially making this a tag team match? Jey Uso and Roman Reigns against Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. What do you think as far as the whole Seth Rollins issue is concerned? Do you think it's actual legitimate, or do you think it's an actual work? Let me know what you guys think down below. And until next time, I will see all of you on the next one.